millions of Americans are familiar with Mr. Rogers and his influential children's program. But Fred Rogers also had an impact on the long-discontinued public transportation, Trolleys, whose demise and disappearance in the 50s is shrouded in mystery and conspiracies. In Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, a character known as Trolley transports the audience from the real world to the land of make-believe. A beloved character, Trolley always communicated in cute bells that the other characters could understand, mirroring how real trolleys communicated to drivers. The addition of a trolley character was very important to Mr. Rogers from the very first episode, as he grew up riding trolleys in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, a town 40 miles outside of Pittsburgh. Mr. Rogers loved trolleys so much that in one of his episodes, he visits the Trolley Museum located in Washington, PA. During Mr. Rogers' visit to the museum, he takes a ride on one of the preserved trolleys, the Philadelphia Rapid Transit 5326. 5326 was built in 1923 and is approximately 45 feet 6 inches long. 5326 was built for Philadelphia's flat terrain. Masterfully crafted, the trolley features handcrafted wooden seats, an intricate electrical system, and a steel-enforced frame. While riding the trolley, Mr. Rogers comments on how 5326 reminds him of traveling on a similar trolley as a child, where he would sit on the wooden seat clutching the bar in front of him, while his grandfather stood closely, hand in the loops hanging from the ceiling. But why did trolleys like 5326 mostly disappear from public transportation at all? At the height of the golden age of trolleys, almost every major American city had a trolley and streetcar lines. Then World War I happened, and after everyone came back from the war, a new transportation called automobiles started to catch on, and General Motors, a large car company, wanted cars to become the new monopoly. Most conspiracies and theories on why trolleys started to fail begin with General Motors. General Motors bought shares in a bus line in 1927 called National City Lines, whose goal was to convince cities to manufacture buses instead of trolleys. As National City Lines grew, they grew in investors and slowly started acquiring more and more trolley and streetcar lines. Soon, many cities were taken over by National City Lines. General Motors benefited from this, as without trolleys, most people turned to automobiles. There were other factors that could have contributed to the decline of the trolleys, including the Great Depression, the condition that a trolley fare could not go over 5 cents, the ever-rising cost of maintenance for the trolley and streetcar lines, and the crowding of automobiles on the road. However, General Motors benefited from the decline of the trolley. By the 50s, most trolley and streetcar companies were bankrupt. Trolley cars and streetcars were being destroyed in massive swaths. Only a small amount of authentic trolleys survived the mass destruction. So much history and memories and hard work were destroyed by the flames that automobiles started. Cars were bought, Americans forgot, and a small number of trolleys were bought by collectors. How could the memory of the trolley system survive this mass exodus? Wouldn't everyone just forget how important trolleys were? Luckily, the legacy of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood lives on. And with that, so does the legacy of the character of Trolley, whose bells are always a reminder of a time that used to be. Mr. Rogers' fond memories of trolleys are cemented in American pop culture. The children who grew up with Mr. Rogers may never have had the chance to ride on a trolley, but they know how important trolleys were. And when people are ready to learn more and ride on a trolley themselves, the Trolley Museum in Washington, Pennsylvania is ready to give them the experience of a lifetime.